Hello, everybody. This is the last plenary session. And the star of this session is not me. Look at my rapporteur. So elegant. So elegant. I wish I had EMB here to take a couple of pictures. So I will start this afternoon plenary with agenda item 9, adoption of the meeting report. I want to let you know that between yesterday and today, the Kingdom of Eswatini, Guinea, Portugal, and Rwanda submitted valid credentials. The submission will be reflected in the report to allow these countries to participate in COP6 as parties. Now, let's go to the adoption of the meeting report. Secretariat, please take the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President. The meeting report covers the proceedings in the plenary sessions of COP6. The report of the meeting is compiled in 3 parts. The first part is the L1 document covering the plenary sessions on Monday and Tuesday, which is available in all UN languages in the in-session section on the website. The second part is an addendum to the L1 document covering the plenary sessions on Wednesday and Thursday, which is available in English on the website. The remainder of the report, which will cover the plenary sessions today, will be entrusted to the rapporteur with the support of the Secretariat. This is consistent with the standard practice of all past meetings of the Minamata Convention. The text of all decisions adopted in plenary will be annexed to the meeting report. Thank you.
At the outset, I thank, on your behalf, the report writers, Secretariat, and Rapporteur for their work in preparing our report. As indicated by the Secretariat, L1 covers our discussions from Monday, November 3rd to Tuesday, November 2nd. Addendum 1 covers our discussion from Wednesday, November 5th to Thursday, November 6th. I would now like to call on Saeed Al-Sahrani from Saudi Arabia, the rapporteur of COP6, to take us through the draft report. I would only appreciate if parties could focus on making substantive comments only. Sorry for that hiccup. The adoption of the report is not an opportunity to renegotiate issues, but to reflect what happened. Interventions should focus on what was said, and the intervener should have the opportunity to correct the record if their intervention is not accurately reflected. Editorial comments or errors in translation may be brought to the attention of the Secretariat in writing. I remind the meeting that we are now in decision-making mode, so we will be accepting interventions from parties only. The only exception to this is for an observer to clarify an intervention they made that is included in the report. I now hand over to the rapporteur to take us through the document.
Yes. سيد الرئيس
Mr. Chairman, Mr. President, Your Excellencies, members of the delegations, may God's greetings and blessings be upon you. Welcome to this part of the meeting where we shall review the document L1. As clarified by the President at the outset, this item aims to adopting the report based on the discussions that took place during the previous sittings of the session. And please bear in mind that we need to focus only on the substantial matters and comments, and only with the purpose of reflecting with accuracy the content of the report. After presenting the report, we shall note any comments or suggestions, and I will work with the Secretariat to make sure that the report reflects your comments accurately. Please bear in mind that you can make any editorial comments or observations with regard to a translation in writing to the Secretariat. I shall read the paragraphs one after the other, and I would like to ask you to make your comments on groups of paragraphs. Let us start with the overview of the paragraphs on the screen before you, paragraphs 1 to 4. Are there any comments on paragraphs 1 to 4?
لا أرى.
I see none. Thank you very much for your confirmation. Let us now move on to paragraphs 5 and 6. Are there any comments?
لا أرى هناك أي تعليق.
I do not see any comments. Thank you very much for your confirmation. Let us now move on to paragraphs 7 and 8. Are there any comments?
لا أرى.
I see none. Thank you very much for your confirmation. Let us now move on to paragraphs 9 and 10. Are there any comments?
لا أرى.
I see none. Thank you very much for your confirmation. Let us now move on to paragraph 11 of the report. Are there any comments?
لا أرى.
I see none. Thank you very much for your confirmation. Let us now move on to paragraphs 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16 of the report. Are there any comments?
لا أرى.
I see none. Thank you very much indeed. Now, paragraph 17, as mentioned previously, will be completed in conjunction with the Secretariat of the Minamata Convention and will be reflected in the report. Now, let us take paragraphs 18, 19, and 20 of the report. Are there any comments?
لا أرى هناك
I see none. Thank you very much for your confirmation. Paragraph 21 is to be completed with the Secretariat of the Minamata Convention, to be completed and reflected in the report. This is the same for paragraph 22.
ننتقل
Now, moving on to paragraphs 23 and 24, as well as 25 and 26 of the report. Are there any comments?
لا أرى
I see none. Thank you very much for your confirmation. Let us now move on to paragraphs 27 and 28.
هل هناك
Are there any comments?
لا أراه
I see no request for the floor. Thank you very much for your confirmation. Moving on to paragraphs 29 and 30, as well as 31 and 32. Are there any comments?
لا
I see none. Thank you for your confirmation. Moving on to paragraphs 33, 43, 34, 35 of the report. Are there any comments?
لا أرى هناك
I see no comment. Thank you for your confirmation. Moving on to paragraph 36. Are there any comments?
لا أراه
I see no comments. Thank you for your confirmation. Moving on to paragraphs 37, 38, 39, and 40. Are there any comments?
لا أرى هناك
I do not see any comment. Thank you for your confirmation. Moving on to paragraphs 41 and 42 of the report. Are there any comments?
لا أرى هناك
I do not see any comment. Thank you for your confirmation. Moving on to paragraphs 43, 44, 45, and 46. Are there any comments?
لا أرى هناك
I see none. Thank you for your confirmation. Paragraph 47 is to be completed in collaboration with the Minamata Convention Secretariat and will be reflected in the report. Moving on to paragraphs 48, 49, and 50. Are there any comments?
لا أرى هناك
I see none. Thank you for your confirmation. Moving on to paragraph 51. Are there any comments?
لا أرى هناك
I see none. Thank you for your confirmation. Moving on to paragraphs 52, 53, and 54. Are there any comments?
لا أرى هناك
I do not see any comments. Thank you for your confirmation. Moving on to paragraphs 55, 56, 57, and 58. Are there any comments?
لا أرى
I see none. Thank you for your confirmation. Moving on to paragraphs 59, 60, and 61. Are there any comments?
لا أرى هناك
I do not see any comment. Thank you for your confirmation. Moving on to paragraphs 62, 63, 64, and 65. Are there any comments?
لا أرى
I see no comments. Thank you for your confirmation. Moving on to paragraphs 66, 67, 68, and 69. Are there any comments?
لا أرى هناك
I do not see any comments. Thank you for your confirmation. Moving on to paragraphs 70 and 71. Are there any comments?
لا أرى هناك
I see none. Thank you for your confirmation. Moving on to paragraphs 72 and 73. Are there any comments?
لا أرى
I see none. Thank you for your confirmation. Paragraph 74 is to be completed in conjunction with the Secretariat and reflected in the report. Moving on to the next paragraph, 75, 76, and 77. Are there any comments?
لا أراه.
I see none. Thank you for your confirmation. Moving on to paragraphs 78, 79, and 80. Are there any comments?
لا أراه.
I do not see any comment. Thank you for your confirmation. Paragraph 81 is to be completed in collaboration with the Secretariat and will be reflected in the report. Now moving on to the next paragraphs, 82, 83, 84, and 85 of the report. Are there any comments?
لا أرى هنا.
I see no comments. Thank you for your confirmation. Moving on to the next paragraphs, 86, 87, and 88. Are there any comments?
لا أراه.
I see none. Thank you for your confirmation. Moving on to paragraphs 89, 90, 91, and 92. Are there any comments?
لا أراه.
I see no comments. Thank you for your confirmation. Moving on to paragraphs 93 and 94 of the report. Are there any observations?
لا أرى هنا.
I see none. Thank you for your confirmation. Moving on to paragraphs 96 and 97. Are there any comments?
لا أرى.
I see no comments. Thank you for your confirmation. Moving on to paragraphs 98 and 99. Are there any observations?
لا أرى هناك.
I see no comments. Thank you for your confirmation. Moving on to paragraphs 100 and 101. Are there any comments?
لا أرى هنا.
I see no comments. Thank you for your confirmation. Moving on to paragraphs 102 and 103. Are there any comments?
لا أرى هنا.
I see no comments. Thank you for your confirmation. Moving on to paragraphs 104, 105, and 106. Are there any comments?
لا أرى
I see no comments. Thank you for your confirmation. Paragraph 107 is to be completed alongside the Secretariat and will be reflected in the report. Now moving on to paragraphs 108 and 109 of the report. Are there any comments?
لا أرى هناك
I see no comment. Thank you for your confirmation. Moving on to paragraphs 110, 111, 112, and 113. Are there any comments?
لا أرى
I see none. Thank you for your confirmation. Moving on to paragraphs 114, 115, 116. Are there any comments?
لا أرى
I see no comments. Thank you for your confirmation. Moving on to paragraphs 117, 118, 119 of the report. Are there any comments?
لا أرى هناك
I see no comments. Thank you for your confirmation. Moving on to paragraphs 120, 121, and 122, as well as 123 of the report.
هل هناك من
Are there any comments? Apologies. There is one request for the floor from Argentina.
Can you say in Argentina into the microphone?
Yeah.
Say Argentina.
أرجنتينا
Gracias.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Rapporteur, and thank you to the Bureau. I actually wanted to speak to paragraph 121. My understanding is that this delegation was the one that had requested clarifications. And those clarifications were regarding the public register of alternatives. And when we held one of the informal groups, I think it was yesterday, the Secretariat at that point confirmed that our delegation and other delegations had already presented that information. So I don't think it is right to say, but no one had yet done so, although the Secretariat had said that at the time, and that was not correct information, and the Secretariat then recanted its stance. So I therefore would ask that you amend it such that it is reflects the fact that there were parties that has presented that information, submitted that information, and that the register would be updated. Thank you.
I'm inviting the Secretariat to reply to your question, please.
Thank you, Mr. Rapporteur. So our understanding is that the report reflects what happened here in plenary, and then later on a clarification was given in a different forum. So our suggestion would be to put a footnote to explain that, and then we think the issue would be solved. Thank you.
شكرا لدولة الأرجنتين. سوف يتم عكس هذه الملاحظة في التقرير.
Thank you, Argentina. I can assure you that your remarks will be reflected in the report and adopted during this session. Let's continue. Paragraph 124 and 125 of the report. Do you have any comments?
لا أرى هناك أي تعليق. شكرا.
I see none. Thank you. Paragraphs 126 and 127. Are there any comments?
لا أرى هناك أي تعليق. شكرا لتأكيدكم.
I see none. Thank you. Paragraphs 128, 129, and 130. Are there any comments? I see none. Thank you. Paragraphs 131 and 132. Any comments on those paragraphs?
لا.
I see none. Thank you. Paragraph 133, 134, and 135. Are there any comments on these paragraphs?
لا أرى هناك.
I see none. Thank you. Paragraphs 136, 137, and 138. Any comments?
لا أرى هناك.
I see none. Thank you. Paragraph 139, to be completed by with the Secretariat, and this will then be reflected in the report. Paragraph 140, 140, 141, and 142. Are there any comments?
لا أرى هناك أي تعليق. شكرا
I see none. Thank you. Let's continue with paragraphs 143, 144, and 145. Any comments?
لا أرى.
No comments. Thank you. Paragraphs 146 and 147. Any comments? I see none. Thank you. This takes us now to paragraph 148 through 156, all of which are to be completed in conjunction with the Secretariat, which will then be reflected in the report. Paragraphs 157 and 158. Any comments?
لا أرى هناك أي تعليق. شكرا لتأكيد.
I see none. Thank you. Paragraph 159, 160, and 161. Any comments?
لا.
I see none. Thank you. Paragraph 162 and paragraph 163. Any comments? I see none. Thank you. Paragraph 165 through 168. These are paragraphs to be completed in conjunction with the Secretariat, and they will subsequently be reflected in our report. This brings us to the final phase, which is the approval of document L1 as amended by parties in attendance.
L1/add point.
The document L1 add 1 is now up for consideration. Can I now invite delegates to make any comments on paragraphs 1 through 3? L add 1. Any comments?
لا أرى هناك أي تعليق. شكرا.
I see none. Thank you. Paragraphs 4, 5, 6, and 7 of the report. Do you have any comments? I see none. Thank you. Paragraphs 8, 9, and 10. Any comments on those? I see no comments. Thank you. Paragraphs 11, 12, and 13, all of which are to be completed in conjunction with the Secretariat. Paragraph 14, 15. Any comments on 14 and 15? I see none. Thank you. Paragraph 16 is to be completed in conjunction with the Secretariat. Paragraph 17. Any comments? I see none. Thank you. Paragraph 18 and 19 are to be completed. Paragraphs 20, 21, 22, and 23. Any comments on those paragraphs? I see none. Thank you. Paragraphs 24 and 25. Any comments on those? I see none. Thank you. Paragraphs 26, 27, 28, and 29. Are there any comments?
لا أرى هناك أي تعليق.
I see none. Thank you. Let's continue with paragraphs 30 and 31 of the report. Any comments? I see none. Thank you. Paragraphs 32, 33, and 34. Any comments?
لا أرى هناك أي تعليق.
I see none. Thank you. Let's move on to paragraphs 35, 36, 37, and 38. Any comments?
لا أرى هناك أي تعليق. شكرا.
I see none. Thank you. Paragraph 39, 40, and 41. Any comments? I see none. Thank you. Let's continue with paragraphs 40, 41, and 42 of the report. Any comments? I see none. Thank you. Paragraphs 44 and 45. Any comments? I see none. Thank you. Paragraphs 46, 47, and 48. Any comments? No comments. Thank you. Paragraphs 49 and 50 of the report. Any comments? I see none. Thank you. Paragraphs 51, 52, and 53 of the report. Do we have any comments from the floor? I see none. Thank you. Paragraph 54, 55, 56, and 57. Are there any comments? I see none. Thank you. Paragraph 59, says the President. Any comments?
لا أرى هناك أي تعليق. شكرا.
I see none. Thank you. Paragraphs 60, 61, 62, and 63 of the report. Do we have any comments from the floor?
لا أرى أي.
I see none. Thank you.
الخامسة والستون والسادسة والستون من
Paragraphs 64, 65, and 66 of the report. Any comments?
لا أرى هناك أي تعليق. شكرا لتأكيدكم.
No comments, thank you. Paragraph 67, 68, and 69. Any comments?
لا أرى هناك أي.
I see none, thank you. Maybe move on to paragraph 70, 71, and 72 of the report. Any comment, anyone, please?
لا أرى هناك أي تعليق. شكرا
No comment, thank you. Paragraph 73 to be completed with the aid of the Secretariat. Paragraph 74 and 75. Any comment?
لا أرى هناك.
I see none, thank you. Paragraph 76, 77, 78 and 79. Any comments, please?
لا أرى هناك أي
I see none, thank you. Paragraph 80, 81, 82 and 83. Any comment, please?
لا أرى هناك
No comment, thank you. '84, 85 and 86. Any comment, please?
لا أرى هناك أي تعليق. شكرا لتأكيدكم.
I see none, thank you. '87, 88 and 89. Any comment, please?
هناك مداخلة.
We have a request for the floor from Colombia. Colombia, go ahead, please.
كولومبيا.
Thank you, Mr. Rapporteur. I'm afraid interpretation is down in Arabic, so I couldn't catch the paragraphs that you were referring to.
الفقرات 84 و85 و86
'84, 85 and 86. Does anybody have any comments?
Disculpas, señor relator.
I do apologize, Rapporteur. The problem was not with the interpretation, it was with my equipment. On paragraph 87 and paragraph 89 as well, I'd like to suggest an amendment, a minor amendment. At the beginning of the third line, there's an indication that the decision deals with addressing health concerns of women and children. I would like us to include in this paragraph, instead of the word on, we would prefer to follow the title, and that doesn't have on, draft decision addressing health concerns of women and children. That's what we think would be more appropriate. the same amendment would apply to paragraph 89. So basically, it's a question of removing the word on. It's just a question of having the accurate title of the resolution in inverted commas to show that that's what it is without the word on. Thank you.
شكرا دولة كولومبيا.
Thank you very much, Colombia. After consultation with the Secretariat, your comment will be duly taken into account and reflected in the final text of the report. Thank you. Let's continue then. Paragraphs 90, 91, 92 and 93 of the report. Any comments, please?
لا أرى هناك أي تعليق.
No comment. Very well, thank you. Paragraphs 94 and 95. Any comment?
أي تعليق.
No comment. Thank you. Paragraph 96, 97 and 98. Any comment, please?
لا أرى هناك أي.
No comment. Very well, thank you. Paragraph 99, 100 and 101. Any comments, please?
لا أرى هناك أي.
No comment. Thank you. Let's move on to paragraphs 102, 103, 104, 105 and 106. Any comments, please?
لا أرى هناك أي.
I see no comments, thank you. Paragraph 107, 108, 109. Any comments, please?
لا أرى هناك أي تعليق.
No comment, thank you. Paragraph 110 and 111. Any comment?
لا أرى هناك أي تعليق. شكرا.
I see none, thank you. Paragraphs 112, 113, 114 and 115. Do you have any comment?
لا أرى هناك أي تعليق. شكرا.
No comment, thank you. Paragraphs 116 and 117. Any comment?
لا أرى هناك أي تعليق.
I see no request for the floor, thank you. Paragraphs 118 and 119. Any comment?
لا أرى هناك أي تعليق.
No comment, thank you. Paragraph 120, 121 and 122. Any comment?
لا أرى هناك أي تعليق. شكرا.
None, thank you. Paragraph 123, 124, 125 and 126. Have you any comment?
لا أرى هناك أي تعليق.
I see no requests, thank you. Paragraph 127 will be completed later with the assistance of the Secretariat and then be included in the report. Paragraphs 128, 129, 130, 131. Any comment?
لا أرى هناك أي.
I see no comment, thank you. Paragraph 132, 133 and 134. Any comments, please?
لا يوجد هناك أي تعليق. شكرا.
None, very well, thank you. Paragraph 135, 136 and 137 will be drafted a little later with the assistance of the Secretariat and inserted into the body of the report. That brings us to the end of the report. L1 add 1 is therefore approved as amended. Thank you very much. And I now return the floor with the President for the adoption of the report. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rapporteur. Very good. Good lesson in Arabic. So I propose that we approve the report, that we adopt the report of our meeting containing document L1 and L1 Addendum 1 as amended from the floor. Are there any objections? Seeing none, it is so decided. So now let me tell you that we have 2 more CRPs on the website for you to take a look at. Is CRP 24 on the extension of exemptions procedure, and CRP 20 on waste. You will have the task to look at these 2 while you excuse me for a couple of minutes, because I have to go to the little boys' room, and nobody can go for me. So just 1 minute. Okay. So now we return to agenda item 4B, little Roman 4, extension of exemptions. We have in front of us CRPs 22 and 24. CRP 22 contains a draft decision on extensions of exemptions related to the requests submitted for consideration at this COP by Bangladesh, India, and Thailand in accordance with paragraph 6 of Article 6 of the Minamata Convention. I now invite the Conference of the Parties to the Minamata Convention to proceed with the adoption of the draft decision set out in CRP 22. Are there any objections? Guinea, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, President. Well, it's not actually on the point that you just mentioned. I had something I wanted to say on the report. My delegation would like to seek a clarification. Is the report approved as it currently stands? What about the points to be completed a little bit later? If we have a problem or a disagreement with the parts which are going to be completed later, what should we do? Do we need to communicate with the Secretariat? There may be such points that countries need to query. If we do get into that position, how should we proceed? Thank you.
Okay, we were in decision-making mode. I will continue with the question that I posed before. Once we have completed this agenda item on extension of exemptions, then I will go back to your question. But I don't want to interrupt what we were discussing. Again, are there any objections to proceed with the adoption of the draft decision set out in CRP 22? I see no objection. It is so decided. I propose now that we move to adopt the decision set out in CRP 24, which supersedes CRP 17 on the timeline for considering requests by parties for extension of exemptions. Are there any objections to adopt this draft decision? I see no objections. It is so decided. So these two decisions that we just adopted will need to go back to the budget group for confirmation on the budgetary implications, and when we have the clearance by them, then we will proceed with the formal adoption. Well, actually, they will just proceed. We will tell you if they have any budgetary implications or otherwise they're cleared, as we have done with all the other decisions. So this concludes the agenda item on extension of exemptions. And now I will give the floor to the Secretariat to answer the question by Guinea.
Thank you. Regarding the question from Guinea, I would like to clarify that the second part of the report of the meeting, which is in addendum L1, add 1, covering the plenary sessions on Wednesday and Thursday, these are available on the website in English. The remainder of the report, which will cover the plenary sessions today, will be entrusted to the rapporteur with the support of the Secretariat. This is consistent with the standard practice of all past meetings of the Minamata Convention. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Secretariat, for that answer. I would like to turn now to agenda item 4C on artisanal and small-scale gold mining. Our co-chairs have worked very hard to advance this decision in a contact group. We have now in front of us CRP 25. I now invite the Conference of the Parties to the Minamata Convention to adopt the draft decision contained in CRP 25. Are there any objections? I don't see any. The decision is adopted. This concludes the consideration of the meeting by the meeting of the agenda item 4C on ASGM. We now move on to agenda item 4J and I on cross-cutting matters. This is the item on implementation of decision MC5/1, strengthening effective engagement with indigenous peoples as well as local communities. We have before us CRP 18 Revision 1, based on the hard work of the group and the group's facilitator, Paulina Riquelme. I now invite the Conference of the Parties to proceed with the adoption of the draft decision set out in CRP 18, Revision 1. Are there any objections? I see no objections. The decision is thus adopted. This concludes the consideration by the meeting of agenda item 4J on cross-cutting matters. I just get a note that CRP 27 on VCM is up on the web. Apologies. Is CRP 26 on VCM? It looks like I'm not going to be able to beat my predecessor's timing for ending this meeting because the website just doesn't open. And I've not been able to see the CRP on VCM. Believe me, it's not my fault. I'm ready to go. All right. Thank you to the soul that sent me CRP 26 on VCM. It looks like I cannot download this from this end, but you have been able to look into this decision to defer consideration of VCM to the next COP. So let's introduce properly this agenda item. This is agenda item 4B on mercury-added products and manufacturing processes in which mercury or mercury compounds are used. Little Roman 3 is entitled Consideration of the Feasibility of Mercury-Free Alternatives for Manufacturing Vinyl Chloride Monomer containing CRP 26. Can we adopt decision containing CRP 26 that defer consideration of this item to the next COP? Are there any objections? I see no objections. It is so decided. Now I just need to see the draft decision on waste And that's the last one that we will consider before we move on to adopt the budget for the next biennium, and that would be it. They tell me CRP 20 is on the website and can be downloaded. It looks like it is slow only up here in the podium. So I now invite COP6 to return to agenda item 4D on mercury waste. Our colleagues from Japan have worked very hard to advance this decision. We have in front of us CRP 20 with the draft decision advancing work related to mercury waste. I realized while looking at this CRP 20 that we have in the last preambular paragraph brackets around the word as appropriate. So since we have no consensus on having or not having these words as appropriate in the last preambular paragraph, I will ask Plenary if they're now ready to remove those words from the preambular paragraph. Is there any objection to this proposal? Seeing no objection, we will remove those words from the last preambular paragraph on this decision. Now we have clean text. So the question to Plenary is, can we adopt the draft decision contained in CRP 20? I see no objections. It is so decided. So we have one. Excuse me for the hiccups. 5 more minutes, please. So I will call upon the budget group to meet very quickly just to clear the decisions we have adopted and come back to plenary, let's say in 15 minutes. Can you meet right there on the side of the cafeteria, please?
Not in room 4?
Okay, you can go to room 4. It's just that it's going to take longer. But okay, good.
Either way,
Okay, okay. We're going to do something. We're going to do something. Something different this time. Okay. So the budget group, please go to room 4. Clear those decisions, and let me know when you're done, so we can proceed. And now, I will just move the closure of the meeting up. We're going to start with the delivering the interventions, and then we come back and adopt the budget decision. Otherwise, we will be here until 9 o'clock. So, yes, thank you very much. So we all just pretend this is the last thing that we want to do, and whatever is in my script, you just go along and pretend we're just closing the meeting when in reality we're not. So we have now reached the end of COP6. This has been a tremendous week. And I am so happy to see the wonderful Minamata spirit of cooperation carried out through all week. I would like to thank each of you today for your perseverance and dedication to the tasks we faced. I would like to invite, oh, what happened to my script? Again, what's going on? Okay, we'll continue. I would like to invite short statements for regional groups and parties at the closing this time. Let me have a look at the floor for any raised hands. Regional groups, please. Only regional groups. Sierra Leone, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, distinguished delegates, the African region expresses its appreciation to the government of Switzerland for the hospitality and conducive working environment. We thank you, Mr. President, the Secretariat and Bureau members for the effective guidance provided throughout the meeting. Thanks to the translators, interpreters, editors who lent an invaluable hand in making the scope a success. We also commend the hard work and the excellent constructive dialogues of all delegates and stakeholders over these past few days that have put into place a good set of elements that build successfully on the work done since the birth of the Convention and has direct bearing on the urgent implementation of our actions to address Mercury issues. Mr. President, as we come to the end of COP6, let me seize this opportunity to state that delegates from the African region came into this meeting to achieve set objectives that will further enhance the work of the Convention. And we are pleased that we are able to advance the following issues that are of great concern to the African region, such as mercury in products, effectiveness evaluation, sustainable financial mechanism, etc. Mr. President, the Africa region will continue to advocate for capacity building, technical assistance and technology transfer, feasible and sustainable financial resources and mechanisms, strong international cooperation and the involvement of indigenous people and local communities, etc., to ensure effective implementation of the Convention. As I conclude, Mr. President, we acknowledge the fact that we really have an obligation to contribute to ensuring the health and well-being of our future generations by reducing human exposure to mercury. In this regard, we always disagree to reach an agreement, which is the spirit of the COP, and COP6 has been exceptional and outstanding in this direction. Therefore, the effective implementation of the success stories we have had in COP6 will remain critical in the successful implementation of the Convention. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much to the Africa region. The group of Latin America and the Caribbean, Mexico.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. The Latin American Caribbean Group wishes to express its most sincere appreciation for the results that we have achieved in the sixth COP. We thank the government of Switzerland for their hospitality, as well as the Secretariat and the Bureau for their dedication and professionalism throughout this intensive but productive week. We also wish to express our deepest gratitude and appreciation to you, sir, President Osvaldo Alvarez, who has very wisely and openly and constructively led the work of COP6 and representing our region with pride. Our region is pleased, as we have already said, at the adoption of the amendment to Annex A regarding dental amalgams, which is an ambitious step forward, but also a realistic one towards ridding the world of mercury. We are also grateful for the adoption of decisions to tackle challenges related to artisanal and small-scale gold mining and the trade in mercury and waste. These are significant sources of pollution and require comprehensive, sustained, and appropriate strategies to tackle the realities in our countries. In our case, it's important that we have international cooperation in place and the necessary transfer of technology. We're also pleased to see the adoption of the decision on the roadmap to improve and enhance synergies among the Minamata Convention and the CBD and Montreal-Kunming Global Framework. We're also have seen the adoption of the procedure for requesting exemptions and to exceptions and also critical decisions on the financial mechanism. And we also see the recognition of the substantive participation of indigenous peoples and other groups in situations of vulnerability. GRULAC congratulates France, and more specifically, Madame Marie-Claire Lemeray, on her election as president of the upcoming COP. As of now, we wish to assure her of our full support and readiness to support her in her leadership role, and we are sure that under her wise leadership, we will continue to ensure that the Minamata Convention continues to be a key instrument in upholding the health of all people and the planet. We also reiterate our commitment to the convention and multilateralism and efforts to protect our environment. We take away renewed hope from this conference, and we know that together we can genuinely build a world free of mercury. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mexico, on behalf of GRULAC. Now I give the floor to Romania.
Mr. President, distinguished delegates, representatives of the Secretariat, esteemed colleagues, I have the honor to speak on behalf of the countries of the Central and Eastern European region. Our region welcomes the progress made at this meeting. We would like to especially emphasize the adoption of the decision on dental amalgam and progress on many other technical matters submitted for consideration by this COP. We want to thank you, Mr. President, for your great leadership and very effective run of the meeting with a smile on your face. We also thank the Minamata Convention Secretariat and members of the Bureau and all facilitators of contact groups and small groups for their work and dedication. We look forward to continuing our joint efforts to make Mercury history and celebrate the 10th anniversary of the Minamata Convention at the next COP in 2027. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Romania, and thank you very much, Claudia. I hope you recover soon. I know you've been a little bit sick this week, and I have to say that you still have the record. Some of you who were here 2 years ago know what I'm talking about. Pakistan for the Asia-Pacific Group.
Thank you, Mr. President. It is a great honor to deliver this statement on behalf of the Asia-Pacific region at the conclusion of this important conference of the parties to the Minamata Convention. At the outset, we wish to express our sincere appreciation to the Secretariat, the Bureau, the President, and all participants for their tireless efforts and constructive engagement throughout this COP. Their dedication has been vital to the success of our deliberations. Over the course of this COP, both in plenary and contact group meetings, we held productive discussions that led to meaningful and forward-looking outcomes. We trust that the adopted decisions will further strengthen our collective resolve to make Mercury history. We are pleased that all decisions were adopted by consensus, reflecting mutual respect among all parties. The Asia-Pacific region reaffirms its unwavering commitment to the full and effective implementation of the Minamata Convention. With its diverse economies, ecosystems, and cultural contexts, our region stands united in its determination to eliminate mercury pollution across all sectors, including dental amalgam, artisanal and small-scale gold mining, traditional practices, industrial processes, and mercury-containing waste. We recognize the need to accelerate action and enhance national capacities to meet our obligations under the Convention. In this regard, we call upon all parties to translate the Bali Declaration into tangible measures that foster cooperation, enforcement, and transparency. Despite challenges, our collective efforts demonstrate that progress is possible when guided by solidarity, science, and sustained political will. Mr. President, as you conclude, we emphasize sustainable, predictable, and accessible financial and technical support are important pillars to achieve the objectives under the Convention. Reflecting the respective capabilities and national circumstances of all parties, the Asia-Pacific Group will continue to underscore the need for robust mechanisms that strengthen capacity building, technology transfer, and adequate financial resources tailored to the needs of developing countries and countries with economies in transition. We must increase our efforts to achieve the objectives of the Convention to protect human health and the environment from emissions and release of mercury in our environment. The Asia-Pacific region stands ready to play its part and to continue engaging constructively with all parties in advancing the goals of the Minamata Convention. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Pakistan, on behalf of the Asia-Pacific region. Now the European Union has the floor.
Mr. President, distinguished delegates, the European Union and its member states would like to thank our host country, Switzerland, and the Executive Secretary and team for organizing and guiding us in this successful COP. We congratulate you, Mr. President, and the members of the Bureau for your leadership and steering throughout the week. Over the past few days, together, we have collectively reaffirmed our commitment to this convention and adopted important decisions, thanks to all delegations' engagement and constructive approach. We are particularly pleased with the agreement reached on phasing out dental amalgam. This marks an important milestone in making mercury history, a step that will bring lasting benefits for human health and the environment globally. Regarding Annex B to the Convention, we consider that mercury-free catalysts are now available for vinyl chloride monomer production, and regret that the decision does not reflect consensus on establishing the technical and economic feasibility of mercury-free alternatives. This delays a much-needed decision to phase out the largest remaining use of mercury and mercury compounds in manufacturing processes. We urge parties that still use mercury and mercury compounds in VCM production to strengthen their efforts and remain confident that we, at the next COP, will establish the technical and economic availability of those alternatives. We welcome strengthening cooperation with other international entities, particularly within the Chemicals and Waste Cluster, through the Kunming-Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework and the new Intergovernmental Science Policy Panel on Chemicals, Waste and Pollution. We are pleased that the COP agreed to enhance the participation of and engagement with Indigenous peoples, as well as local communities in the Convention's work, and to further implement the Gender Action Plan. We congratulate the new members of the Bureau, the Implementation and Compliance Committee, and the Governing Board of the Specific International Programme for their nominations. Mr. President, distinguished delegates, the EU and its member states remain firmly committed to supporting ambitious measures to strengthen the global response to mercury pollution. We stand ready to continue working closely with all parties, stakeholders, and observers as we move towards the next COP. Let us carry forward the momentum built here at COP6 and turn our commitments into concrete action. Thank you.
Thank you very much, European Union. China has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President. As for this conference, COP6, we have fully felt that all state parties to the convention, it is a very friendly big family. And for the common goal of free mercury world, we have made efforts and contributions, in particular under your leadership, and coordinated by co-chairs, the dental amalgam. The decisions through consensus has fully reflected that in terms of the compliance, the convention has shown flexibility. We noticed at the beginning of the convention, the proposed date is 2030. However, through the continuous coordination communication between parts, eventually we agreed on 2034 for the phase-out date. In the text, it has also defined the exceptional illness in special cases. During the negotiation, the convention has fully demonstrated its flexibility and has fully considered the differences between states, in particular. The overall economic, social differences, including the individual needs. It has shown the respect for humankind and the individuals, and I can fully feel such care. As for the VCM, we also note that state parties have demonstrated their perseverance. I believe the parties to the convention are similar from other convention parties, they are developing and developed countries. Every country has different national conditions and development pathways. And I believe that under the UN framework, every country respects each other. And based on this, I believe under the framework of VCM, we have also demonstrated mutual respect. Of course, we have our own perseverance and opinions, but I believe the common goal of mercury-free, this is shared by all parties. I especially thank two co-chairs under this agenda item. I also thank the Convention Secretariat, and I thank the colleagues for their coordination. All of us respect science-based monitoring. Even, this is connected to national reporting. Without data support, without a scientific assessment, then our phase-out process will be questioned in terms of authority. China, as a responsible state party, upholds science, in particular data rigorousness. No matter whether it's VCM or National Reporter Framework, we insisted on the economic and technical feasibility indicators. We need to define the methods. And after we have the complete picture and the information and the instructions, then we can accelerate the convention so that the goals of the conventions at the fastest pace based on science can be achieved. As for synergy, I believe under the efforts of Mr. Chair and others, the convention coordinates with the Kunming-Montreal framework and other conventions. As for how to promote the mercury-free world, the use of fossil fuel, how do we balance this, and how do we respect the right to development among states parties, and how to balance that. I believe that we have lots of examples. In the future, China will continue work with other parties based on equality, conduct in-depth cooperation, in particular, supported by the Secretariat. We will work with developing parties to promote technical alternatives and capacity building. Lastly, I thank Mr. President and the technical support teams and the chairs and the colleagues in charge. I thank the Secretariat, and I look forward to greater progress. We believe one day we will reach the vision of a mercury-free world. Thank you.
So I believe I have allowed national statements. Thank you, China, for that. Saudi Arabia also wants to take the floor.
سعادة الرئيس السيدات والسادة.
Thank you, President. President, ladies and gentlemen, heads and members of delegation. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, as we come to the end of the work of COP6 under the Minamata Convention, would like to take this opportunity to convey its gratitude to Switzerland to begin with for having been kind enough to host this conference here in Geneva. We're very grateful to the Swiss authorities for the excellent organization of the proceedings and for her warm hospitality. Thank you also to the President of the conference for an excellent job in chairing this week's work. We extend those thanks to the Convention Secretariat staff for the hard work they've put into preparing and convening this conference. Thank you, in addition, to all participating delegations for their constructive and cooperative attitude, which is what has made it possible for us to agree by consensus on decisions which further the Convention and protect both the environment and human beings from mercury pollution and harm from mercury. Ladies and gentlemen, President, the discussions in the course of this meeting have shown an attitude of cooperation and shared solidarity. Those underscore the fact that this is the best way to tackle the climate-related and other challenges we face. In our 2030 vision in Saudi Arabia, we remain strongly attached to supporting international efforts to ensure we properly manage chemical products and waste and continue to innovate to improve international traceability. We should like to reiterate our commitment to the Minamata Convention and will continue to promote the use of best practices and the best technology available, while at the same time helping to make sure that we manage mercury in a way that will protect both human health and the environment for future generations. In conclusion, thank you everybody for what has been achieved in the course of this week. Thank you for the progress we've been able to make and the decisions we've been able to take. We wish everyone good luck in putting those decisions that we've taken into operation. We have made a contribution to bringing a mercury-free world that much closer. Thank you.
Thank you very much. India is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, at the outset, we would like to thank the government of Switzerland for hosting this conference in Geneva. We would like to congratulate you, Mr. President, the Bureau members, co-facilitators of the contact groups, the technical team, and the Secretariat of the Minamata Convention on Mercury for successful convening of this conference. We congratulate also the incoming President of the Bureau, Ms. Marie-Claire L. Henry, and also congratulate new Bureau members, including from Asia Pacific Group, that is Bangladesh and Iran. India reaffirms its strong commitment to the objectives of the Convention to protect human health and the environment from mercury pollution. Foundation of the Minamata Convention on Mercury is built on the established principles of Rio Declaration on common but differentiated responsibilities and respective circumstances and capabilities of parties. The annexure and its amendments under the Convention provide enough flexibility to the parties to deal with the mercury and its compound in a nationally driven manner. Minamata Convention is a comprehensive document having provisions for different situations of technical aspects while managing the mercury and its compounds. We expect that the mechanisms of implementation and compliance committee as well as effectiveness evaluation are facilitative in nature and take care of the national capacities, capabilities, and circumstances. Mr. President, we need to congratulate ourselves at this moment, as out of 153 member parties, only 3 parties submitted their request for seeking extension of exemption for mercury-added products. India was one of the parties seeking extension of exemption. This request was made in the context of strong commitment and actions taken by India to achieve objectives of the Convention. We thank all the parties for their support to India's request. Mr. President, I would like to emphasize in the end that a successful conclusion of this COP would not have been possible without the dynamic leadership and guidance from you and your team. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, India. We have Iraq.
السيد الرئيس المحترم، السادة ممثلي دول الأطراف.
Ladies and gentlemen, President, thank you. Since my country is speaking for the first time, we should like to congratulate you, President, on the way that you have chaired this session of the COP. We're also equally grateful to the members of the Bureau and the Secretariat for their hard work. We would like to put on record our sincere thanks to Switzerland, of course, for their superb hospitality. Iraq would like to put on record her commitment to achieving the goals of the Convention and to take the measures required to protect human and environmental health from mercury. Our government has ratified its first mercury evaluation. We have sent the information to the Secretariat, and that, I think, is an important step forward for us. We'll follow that up with other initiatives which we hope will help us to make a full contribution to the eradication of mercury. On the evaluation and the handling of sites polluted by mercury, we would still appreciate some support, and the same is true for dealing with the long-term effects of pollution. It is important, we think, that a decision is taken at COP which will focus on these 2 issues, which are very important. Iraq has closed down all plants using mercury to manufacture VCM and has turned to more environmentally friendly procedures, but we still face difficulties cleaning these sites up and taking the necessary measures to ensure that all the pollution is got rid of. Technical and financial support in this respect, not only to us but other developing countries, is essential if those countries are to be able to fully meet their commitments on the gradual elimination of mercury and mercury compounds. Transfer of technology and the sharing of knowledge on how to handle mercury and mercury waste in various sectors is critical. We believe that the Minamata Convention is based on effective international cooperation and the exchange of information and experience between experts. It is that which will help us to achieve our goal, which is a mercury-free world and therefore a healthier and safer world for future generations. Thank you.
And I have one last request, and then we go and then we go back to our work. I have Ukraine.
Thank you, Mr. President. Allow me to congratulate you on the successful conduct of this meeting and welcome your concluding remarks just offered recently here. But you are absolutely right, it is never too early to appreciate efforts of participants and to thank the Secretariat for its excellent work and dedication. This is the first COP in which Ukraine participates as a full party. We are honored to join this community under a common goal to protect human health and the environment from mercury pollution. Becoming a party is such a difficult time for our country, while Ukraine continues to defend itself against the ongoing aggression by Russia, has special meaning for us. Despite the war, Ukraine remains firmly committed to implementing the Convention, strengthening national monitoring and legislation, and contributing to global efforts towards a mercury-free world. Now I have the honor to deliver a statement on behalf of 39 states. We reaffirm our unwavering commitment to the principles of the UN Charter and international law, including respect for the sovereignty, independence and territorial integrity of Ukraine within its internationally recognized borders. We strongly condemn the ongoing aggression by the Russian Federation against Ukraine and demand that Russia immediately, completely and unconditionally withdraw all its military forces from the territory of Ukraine. Apart from terrible human casualties, this aggression continues to cause severe environmental damage, including destruction of industrial and energy facilities, contamination of soil, water and air, and risks of releases of hazardous substances such as mercury. We cannot ignore the risk, the environmental and health consequences of mercury contamination due to armed aggression can have long-lasting effects on ecosystems and communities. We emphasize that principles and obligations of the Minamata Convention on Mercury must be upheld under all circumstances. Environmental protection and human health cannot be compromised, even in the face of aggression. I thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. Ukraine. Last is Uruguay.
Thank you very much, President. Uruguay would like to take this opportunity to thank the government of Switzerland and the Genevan authorities for their warm hospitality, and we'd like to thank the Secretariat and the officers for the organization of this meeting and support you've given to us all the way through it. We're very grateful to you, President, for your leadership and for the way in which you have run this conference. We would like to offer fraternal greetings to all the delegations present here, because their capacity for dialogue has helped us to make progress and take important decisions. We can leave knowing that we've strengthened cooperation between our countries, and that's a good mood in which to leave. I would like to dwell on one point which I believe to be historic, the progress made on eliminating dental amalgam. This confirms something which we can't forget. Soon, on a specific date, we will have a dental industry free of mercury amalgam. It will be a fact, unchallengeable. This is something that's long been required to protect the health of our peoples and indeed of our ecosystems. We should continue to work between now and the next COP with unfailing determination and on the One Health for All principle, because we believe that animal, environmental and human health are inseparable one from the other. I hope we can continue to work together for a fairer and healthier future, one which of course is absolutely free of mercury. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Madam Secretary, are you ready to deliver your final remarks? The CRPs for budget, they're all up. We thank the budget group, and Madam Secretary will deliver a speech, and then I will deliver a speech, and we don't want the future president to leave without listening to these speeches. So this is why we're doing it. And then budget, yes.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, observers, colleagues, and friends. We have opened the door to another chapter of the Mercury history book. What you all have accomplished here during this week is truly inspiring. And I want to express my deep thanks to Switzerland. Once again, we have experienced high-quality hosting arrangements and excellent conference center services, which allow us to do the work we came here to do. Thank you for your steadfast support to the Minamata Convention Mercury. And I think you will all agree with me, our COP president did such a wonderful job and was a really a memorable experience to work with you. Osvaldo, thank you so much for your great leadership throughout the negotiations, both here at Plenary, but also at the backstage when we had informal consultation in various groups. And your experienced stewardship has created the space for open dialogue and all the successful outcomes we are reaching today. Let me then call for applause to Osvaldo for the great job. I would also like to thank the Bureau members, the co-chairs of the contact groups, and the facilitators of the Friends of the President and small groups for your outstanding service, and all delegates who have worked long, but not nightly hours, to guide discussion to the successful conclusions. Party delegates, you have maintained the Minamata spirit based on a shared mission and vision. And here, with all respect to other regions, I must recognize the African region for your leadership on the matter of the Convention's phase-out mercury-added products that has been successfully concluded today. And to dear observers, your participation brings our work to life and raises awareness far beyond the COP. Thank you to scientists, industry representatives, and civil society groups, and all who advocate so strongly for progress. You grow the Convention's impact. Your engagement enriches our work and helps ensure that the Convention reflects the realities and hopes of all stakeholders. The establishment of the International Indigenous Peoples Forum on Mercury, the launch of the Convention's Women Caucus and Youth Declarations are milestones in reaching the objective of the Convention. And our family members, the global environmental facilities and its agencies, the WHO, ILO, and all the members of the IOMC, the Global Mercury Partnerships, and our colleagues in the BRS Secretariat and throughout UNEP, and more. There are too many to mention here. Your ongoing support, collaboration, and dedication to the work makes all the difference. My sincere appreciation also goes to many individuals who make conference possible and contribute to its success. You know, the interpreters, editors, report writers, conference services, security, IT teams, technical support staff, photographers, the media, journalists, and exhibitors. And to my dear colleagues and friends in the Minamata Convention Secretariat, thank you for your professionalism and dedication. And to all of you, as I said at the opening, we have come together at a decisive moment with serious challenges ahead. And these challenges will not disappear quickly, but your work this week has paved the way for faster, broader, and more robust implementation, fully engaging those whose lives are literally in the balance. Mercury pollution is a scourge, but you, all of you working here this week and back in your countries, you are a bright spot on this earth. We show the promise of multilateral action at the time when it is most urgently needed. You show that by understanding one another and bridging our differences, we can make a difference in the lives of people everywhere, and indeed in the life of this beautiful planet we share. Thank you so much.
So I want to thank, firstly, Monica and her secretariat, all the team, I would say the enlarged secretariat. I see other familiar faces from another secretariat that I love very much. I want to thank the interpreters for your patience and being able to interpret my ad-lib script. Of course, to conference services and the IT team, the logistical teams, and also those who make possible to have knowledge labs on the side, as well as all the other people that make the awareness activities alongside with the proceedings of this COP. I want to thank my regional group that has supported me throughout these 2 years. It's a pleasure working with you and for you, and I will keep doing so as time permits. To the Swiss government for hosting us once again in this rather known venue, but with excellent logistical arrangements. And now I'll go to my speech that I prepared for the closure. So, as we wrap up these 6 conferences of the parties, I have to say that if someone had told me that Mercury negotiations would make me miss the simplicity of a plastic negotiation, I don't think I would have believed them. But thanks to your enthusiasm, creativity, and those good-natured debates along the way, we managed to tackle every twist in our agenda with grace and maybe with just a little suspense. From the celebratory moments of our early decisions to the passionate debates and sideline consultations for dental amalgam, cosmetics, and questions of trade, we discovered that every voice matters, every minute counts, every small group meeting seems to multiply when you're not looking. I appreciate your flexibility, but especially your discipline in the face of my now infamous 2-minute timer. As promised, my love for you is all very real. It just can extend to going overtime on Fridays. Let's remember, whether you join a small group or got swept up in plenary surprises, whether you make history or kept us on track, you helped ensure that the Minamata Convention remains more relevant, inclusive, and dynamic than ever. Alors,
so, as I pass on the torch, it is my great pleasure to warmly congratulate the new French presidents. I am certain that under your able leadership, the convention will continue its tradition of ambition, inclusivity, and good humor. I'd like to thank everyone for your confidence in me, your sense of humor, and your tireless collaboration. With your creativity and commitment, we've been able to set new, ambitious objectives, and together we have been able to leave Mercury somewhat further behind in the past.
And don't forget to return your timers at the exit. Thank you very much. All right, let's do budget. Following the substantive discussions and decisions at this COP, the Budget Contact Group deliberated and agreed on a budget for the biennium 26-27. The co-chairs and the group have worked hard during this week with the aim of arriving at a decision following the finalization of all the draft decisions by all the groups. I give the floor now to the co-chairs of the contact group, Miriam Medel Garcia from Mexico and Evelyn Berhard from the Netherlands.
Thank you. Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Thank you. I really wanted to just thank all the members of the group. Thank them for their hard work, dedication, and creativity. We were able to complete our work of reviewing and approving all the decisions that were adopted. And the group also took many hours to go through the table in the budget, and we arrived at an agreement which you will see in the room documents, the CRPs, which I am assuming is already on the website. So without further ado, I will turn the floor back over to you and thank you on behalf of my co-facilitator and, of course, myself.
I now invite the Conference of the Parties to proceed with the adoption of the draft decision set out in CRP 19 and its Addendum 1. Are there any objections? I see no objections. The decision is adopted. This concludes the consideration by the meeting of Agenda Item 6 on Program on Work and Budget. And with this, I declare the 6th Conference of the Parties to the Minamata Convention closed. Thank you. Thank you very much. I will now invite the new Bureau members to meet in the Bureau room, that is room 9, hangover. That will be tomorrow. That will be tomorrow morning. Okay. To have a meeting with the old Bureau, the new Bureau and the old Bureau. Safe travels, everybody. It's been a pleasure.
Tonight, I'm gonna have myself